official wow. 조회라 shimana if sokoraga. That was uh Hickmanese for welcome back. Got ya. Welcome back to Overclock Showcase. Holy shit, we're back. I bet you thought it was gone forever, didn't you? You idiot, you fool, you remedial mistake. Anyway, not doing engineer, that's not right. We're actually doing Scout. Of course, if you watched the end of the last episode not many months ago, about a month ago, it wasn't that long. We've got custom casings for the Zhukovs as our next overclock to cover, which is, well, it's a balanced overclock. It's the balanced overclock for the Zhukovs. Look, I don't hate the Zhukovs, but they are they might be the most wet blanket of a weapon in the game. They're just not very impressive. They've only got 5 overclocks. The upgrade selection is barely okay, and in practice, they're just not very strong weapons, to be honest. They're just pretty undertuned, I think. If any weapon needs an outright buff, it is the Zhukovs. Invisible walls, please. Or rather, Ghost Ship, just let Invisible Walls do the balancing, because I just get this sense that Invisible Walls are so much more like outside players than Ghost Ship are at this point, which makes sense. It's not surprising that they could just be like, yeah, we've been playing with the Zhukovs, we know they're weak, we'll buff them for you. And if you did that, I'd give them a big old kiss. Yeah, so let's not dwell too much on the gap between this and the last one. This is coming out before a certain miscellaneous video that I've been talking about, which is this weird sort of biome ambience walkthrough thing that I am going to make. It could take a little bit longer. The plan is to do it the week after this now, which makes sense because the Overclock showcases are going to be every other week now. I reserve the right to change that back. Obviously, it's my series. I could just easily just stop doing it that way. I could easily just go back to doing one every week. But this just gives me more time. Having a job now and having other pursuits I want to go in for, you know, YouTube. I think you can obviously see why I can't invest all my time in this. And it wouldn't be all my time anyway, but it'd be enough. There's more things I want to play than Deep Rock. And I do want a good amount of time to practice and sort of formulate what I think the right builds are to show you as well. And so having 2 weeks means that I don't need to play a mission every day to practice. It gives me more time to just sort of gestate on them, more time to sort of prepare things like thumbnail, just all sort of the preparation, and also just potentially do videos in between as well without having to delay, without having to create an abnormality. So they're going to be every other week from now on. I think that's fair. I hope we're still excited to have it back. It seems that is the case. These videos tend to do quite well, and I just want to thank everyone generally because they do tend to get pretty good feedback. I hope that means people are watching all the way through. I don't actually check YouTube stats because, look, this thing is just it's so much so just a hobby for me. And yeah, I could improve, but I feel pretty comfortable with where we're at. And I will definitely look into ways to sort of maybe upscale things a bit. I mean, I'm sure when I eventually have a PC which to play Rogue Core, that might just incur a natural upgrade of certain aspects of the channel. I hope it does. I'm not averse to it, but this is so much so just a background hobby. I do not rely on this for income. I mean, that's kind of it, really. Not that that isn't a thing. No, you know, we're not unmonetized, but anyway. Right, so custom casings for the Zhukovs. Like I said, it is the Zhukovs' only balanced overclock. Significant increase in magazine capacity and a slower rate of fire. That rate of fire penalty is definitely felt in this case, but I think what you gain is pretty okay. It is a decent amount. It's 30. I would say it's kind of not really doing itself any favours by not being a straight up double. I think that would be justified in the Zhukovs cases. In the Zhukovs custom cases. Wow. But it does give you noticeably more uptime, and frankly, combining the rate of fire penalty with that arguably gives you even more uptime. Of course, I'm not sure if it's both of these builds or not. Where is the other one? Who the head is that? Oh yeah, it looks like in both of them I'm actually taking increased rate of fire, so that's a little bit awkward. But yeah, so a little bit disappointing for me is that after all this time of having sat on this overclock, the two builds I've got are actually quite similar. But that is, in my opinion, a bit more of a testament to the overclock than it is my ability to create builds. I hope that is a fair statement. It may well not be. I may be stupid. So one of them is just geared towards sort of just lasering down high priority targets and even heavier targets, and the other one is geared towards a bit of a hybrid, but sort of more of a general trash and crowd clear. They both utilize conductive bullets. Now, that was probably the biggest realization for me, to sort of be like, I just need to use conductive bullets. I mean, look, this is the only overclock on the Zhukovs that increases your magazine size, so get in, get out gives you movement speed when you fully empty the clip. If we're taking overclock that increases magazine capacity and lowers the rate of fire, it's going to be a lot harder to do that. It's just going to be completely unintuitive. There's no reason not to take conductive bullets and to try and take advantage of that, even across multiple builds that are meant to be as different as possible. But yeah, so let's not think too much about that now. Let's just focus on this build. So this is the one that's really meant for lasering down heavy targets. It's why I really wish I could take more damage in both cases, but the accuracy is definitely needed here. So we can handle things like a spitballer from across the room or whatnot, that kind of thing. But yeah, some damage, rate of fire, accuracy, and weak point bonus, and conductive bullets, all contributing to the highest DPS that we can achieve in a reliable, with like a sort of reliable level of stability for the weapon. You get a good amount of ammo. We are basically relying on custom casings here as a bit of an ammo shot. It's a tiny, in terms of custom casings giving you more ammo, it's tiny. It's technically only like 15 shots. Oh no, sorry, no. The Zhukovs do shoot 2 bullets at a time, but they literally do. So you know your ammo is like it almost makes sense to think of the Zhukovs as your ammo being half what it says and your damage being double what it says. You know. But basically, to back that up, we have the strongest fucking thing in the game. Not exactly, but it's this is aggressive venting. Aggressive venting is so easy to build to be just absolutely diabolically strong. I even considered taking damage instead in tier 2, just because it was so ammo efficient that the Zhukovs would always run out of ammo beforehand. But then again, I realized that it would just make me start just using it on everything instead of actually using the Zhukovs at all. So I just went with this. So this is so simple. Aggressive venting, when you are able to overheat. So if you're taking manual heat dump, that means you can overheat just past halfway. But overheating basically means you just radiate an explosion of fire and fear around you. It's ridiculously good at clearing groups of enemies and fearing larger enemies, and or just fearing any enemy, but also just setting on fire groups of squishy grunts and sort of swarmers and things, and just being diabolically good. Maybe Scout's best crowd clearing option, just straight up. Built very simply here. Rate of fire, which, by the way, the rate of fire, I believe, does not help. So I could have maybe I don't know if I want to switch at this point in the game. I can't. I'm just going to go with it. But I will say, in the case of these weapons, the Drak and the minigun, rate of fire does not make you overheat quicker. It doesn't do the opposite per se, but you overheat with more ammo used. That's true, but you don't actually overheat quicker. So in the case of the Drak, if I'm right, you'd actually probably be better off just taking projectile velocity. But whatever, it's so efficient, I don't care. And in that sense, larger battery though, it just lets us go absolutely batshit, because we are partially, so hot feet's fine, that's just going to activate every time we use aggressive venting. It's really strong, it's really good movement ability. Overcharged PCF is really the name of the game here. So this is what gives conductive bullets its consistent ability to just laser things down thanks to the electric damage bonus. It's so strong, and the ammo really helps that. This is both perfectly apt as a consistent crowd clearing tool, but also to just electrocute any enemy that you need it to. And manual heat dump, of course, allows us basically to just overheat infinitely more often. Going to be using this plenty to, turn Praetorians around, to fear them and expose their weak point and electrocute them all at the same time. It's really good for that. And we kind of just double down on that crowd control, stunning electrocution aspect with the stun sweeper. It's the best scout grenade. Axis Cronus might try and tell you different, but he's wrong. It's so great at just shocking hordes of enemies and just keeping them in place. Like, you could literally have like a multiple Praetorians and just shock them all and stun them all, and just go to town with them. go to town on them with the Zhukovs. You may notice even there's no Beastmaster here. This scout does not need Beastmaster. He's got aggressive venting. I think what I have done, so we've got a normal mission here, basically just doing the anniversary assignment, which is, you know, I've got to do it. Can't miss out on that. But it's a very normal mission, but I am kind of pushing Scout a little bit. I think I'm going to start trying to standardize him as my normal difficulty level, which is Hazard 5 +1 on the more enemies factor. If every other class can stand up to that, then Scout should be able to as well. If he can't, then that's just going to be like a takeaway. I'm going to keep doing it, even if it's sort of like leads to consistent failure, because I just think I need to shine this light on Scout. Obviously, we all know Scout is perfectly well balanced in the multiplayer setting. He just doesn't have as consistent a way of dealing, you know, the crowd clearing that you need. I've just realised my UI is gone. Right, there we go. Jesus. Oh, look at this. Actually, these ones are probably going to wake up, I just realised, so let's just do that. Okay. Oh yeah, I don't have any music on either. Hold on. Or a mission control or characters. Let's keep everything pretty low though. That was for the ambient biome walkthrough thing I was talking about. Now I will say this build specifically, so this mission would definitely be a lot of me picking up aggressive venting. But I've got no problem putting aggressive venting propaganda out into the world. It genuinely, it might be the most sort of comfortable S tier that I could give to an overclock. Like genuinely. Oh, I just realised something else. I'm not gonna change this. I'm also gonna ignore secondary objectives for this, otherwise I'm gonna die. But I just realised that I don't have Bosco. It's also part of that other video. It was pretty necessary to not have Bosco around. It does mean we get actual voice lines. Oh, not there though. Yeah. So we get basically multiplayer voice lines instead of just Bosco callouts. Obviously, I'm going to change that for the next mission. I'm going to go with it now. What's going on? I'm fine. I'm going to go with it for now because I am just that confident in this build. But combining that with the Hazard 5+ thing, I now am feeling a little bit weird about all this. Well, but then again, it's Deep Rock. A Deep Rock mission can be wonderfully short if you play it right, and that is not an untrue expression of how the game works. So if I can get this done quickly, then I'm fine with that. Right, I'm actually going to take this pipeline, not towards that pump jack. I'm going to take it toward. Okay, need to put it down here first. Do you mind, sir? Do you mind? Doesn't mind. But yeah, this has actually made this whole thing a little bit more precarious than I intended. But yeah, so there should be a more quite well this way. Oh yeah, I'm going to build these by myself. I can do this. I can do this. It's fine. Fine. Right, so I'm going to have to get it up there somehow as well. You don't need to see this. Or maybe you need to see this actually. Well, I mean, in a lot of ways maybe not, because there might not actually be anything really for the Zhukovs to do. I mean, they're pretty good for guards when needed. Oh! Oh my god! Oh, my brain, work. Oh. I'm okay. I'm fine. Jesus Christ. Ugh, it feels so slow sometimes.
Construction here. Not ready. Flares recharging.
Hold on to your gizzards, team.
Ugh, gizzards. Oh god, actually Bosco is so like such a crutch, isn't he? Jesus Christ. I need to find oh shit.
Flares up.
Oh no. It's this way, isn't it? Yeah, it's over here. Okay. Well, someone fucked up a little bit. That someone is of course me. Oh dear. Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. Doesn't help that there's absolutely no red sugar anywhere. I mean, I suppose this is a fitting way to start, you know, start the series back up, because with like a pretty consistent sequence of poor judgment, or poor judgments. That actually feels quite apt.
Stand clear. Pump jack inbound.
It's overheated.
Oh!
That goddamn overheating. Beat your maker, Craig.
The wave is petering out. Wipe out the rest and get on with it.
Clip it, menace down.
This thing is actually, it's pretty good. It's particularly good against things with 3 times weak points. Like really good. So the Goo Bomber and the Menace that you just saw, those are the kind of things it's like, it's pretty... Oh right, yeah, sorry, hold on. We are going to have to restart, because if I die, I'm dead.
Check your gear and let
Well,
go.
lucky me, we ended up in the other 3 depths this time around.
Draw deep wells of liquid mortar
And of course,
to ascending
yep, Bosco's with us. Well, I guess this is actually worth noting. This is, of course, the first...
roughnecks.
You know what? I've actually had enough of Mission Control in general. I actually don't need to hear him anymore, ever. I mean, I know he's probably like much quieter than I am. I know, I'm pretty sure, but I just can't stand the fucker. Anyway, first Overclock Showcase mission recorded in the Osprey Depths. See, I've even noticed this thing be particularly strong, even against like things like Stingtails, because you pile on a few shots from the Drac, and you basically get the armor. That either cracks the armor or gets it pretty close to cracking, and you kind of just go through it. It's like you just gotta learn that something like the Stingtail, as long as you're not like just really badly equipped, like piss poor equipment wise, you can kind of just brute force your way through it. Just play aggressively, and you'll get through its like armor, and you'll kill it pretty easily because they don't have much health. I wouldn't say they're low on health either, but you know they're not the strongest fellows. I want to see if you can say a little bit the same about guards. But yeah, but I don't know what I was thinking about Bosco. I mean, obviously, it started with me not realizing I didn't have him. But then I was like, oh, I'll be fine. Yeah, obviously not going to be fine. What? Especially not on-site refining. And the fact that I forgot that meant I had only 1 life is pretty concerning. Like, I just... Ooh. Not a lot going on up in this cranium.
Shouldn't need precious minerals. It will get you killed. Lloyd!
So yeah, I'm going to sort of show a little bit of this scale bramble, because I'm thinking I know how this is going to go. Okay, the dragon's actually a little more inaccurate than I realised. But, well, to be fair, also, the electrocution effect from the Drac is like, it's a weirdly strong one. So I'm actually not surprised it's kind of just going to kill things. Like, I'm pretty sure it can kill a grunt. Like, I'm pretty sure that the Drax electrocution effect can kill a grunt if the only thing that hit the grunt was the electrocution, if that makes sense.
Claire, not ready yet. It's overheated. I'm gonna kill you all. Clifford spawns here. There must be a brute nexus nearby. Lighting up. We took out the brambles nodule. Go for the kill. Bartok scale bramble down. Take a bite out of this.
Oh, you know, I missed mission control already.
Pesticide coming up. I gotta watch the overheating.
Okay, so hold on. Where is the red trigger?
Start hover. We need
Like in either of these missions? It's probably too loud, isn't it? I think that's like 20. Yeah, that seems about right. Thank you, mission control. Alright, Bosco, you're gonna have to drop that because I just need to start shooting things.
all right. Let's get the pump jacks hooked up to the refinery.
Ooh!
You ugly son of a bitch. Flares are recharging. Lights up. Weapon is overheated.
Where is the red trigger?
I got the tri-jaw. Stand your ground. Get no quarter. Rubbish equipment.
Oh look, there's some. And the only red trigger in this cave. And I found it.
Lighting. Cover on. Locked and loaded. Bosco, mine it.
Right, we need to put a bit of a priority on Nitro, I think.
Lights up.
Hello, chaps.
It's overheated. Players charging. Stunning throw stick. Not again. Take off. Follow this.
Dude. Die, thank you. I don't know what I don't know who he thought he was still being alive. It would seem like I am going to be collecting the Bulu caps. Only because it was so easy to get so many so quickly. If it wasn't, I would have ignored them because I just can't really factor them into these videos anymore. I mean, that started a while ago, to be honest. So the enlightenment of not really bothering secondary objectives.
Let's get the
Obviously, that can only come with great experience and accumulated wealth. Where you know you don't have to think about ever like having to actually find specific minerals or things like that ever again. Like they couldn't try, you know, to add something that would require me to actually go out and find minerals, crafting materials.
hatching them. Time to restock.
Whoa, 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 whoa. There he is. Get out of my face.
Deep Rock really needs to provide some better equipment. flares ready.
All right, now I'm going to start actually building the pipes,
Grabbing ammo.
which of course you don't need to see,
Better.
except tri-jaws, which are an easy. They got the triple weak point. They've got a pretty low health pool overall. The execution bonus. It's just it works very well. Like frankly, the Zhukovs can do a pretty good job against them even without the execution.
Flares. Recharging.
Also, the current makeup of enemies here would make you think that Ossa and Scrabs were analogous to Swarmers, but they're not.
15. If it's me and I die a little inside every time I have to take out a loop.
I don't know if this is like just a
Locked down.
projecting in some way, but I really do think that if Ghost Ship had made season 6, the Scrabs would be Swarmer type enemies, and therefore it's such a small like difference actually what this creates. But the fact that they're basically medium type enemies, and that means you can proc Vampire on them, it genuinely feels like invisible walls coming in and making what is a very player founded decision. It does not. I feel like Ghost Ship are very almost trust the playbase too much, because it always feels like the enemies that they add are overtuned. To be honest, like I'm just being honest. It does feel that way. It felt that way with the robots. I think where they got it the most right was probably honestly the Scale Bramble. Since season started, I think before seasons there were like new enemies that were generally quite good. Obviously, because it's a lot of the enemies that we have now. But I do think there's an element of Ghost Ship. They honestly they weren't that great at making enemies like fit in a way that felt fair, without just like nerfing them. I think Invisible Walls have already done a pretty good job at making enemies that feel fair and unique at the same time. It is on a pretty like low level. They're fairly low key enemies, but they're not. But you still notice them. Like these guys. I like these guys. They're cool. I mean, like they're kind of piss easy to kill, but not in a way that feels like ridiculously underpowered. I wouldn't say they feel like a joke.
Goddamn overhead is ready. It's overheated. Taste the pickaxe. Stop them dead. Watch me fly. Prepare to be shot. I killed the loot bug, and I'm not so proud of it.
Yeah, I mean this is the kind of scout build that Gunner can only dream of. Is that going to reach the floor? It's not, but it might reach that. This is so stupid. Or that? There we go. I'm a genius.
Pipes up. If only someone could help me build it. Here I go.
But there is another pump jack even further away. Help!
It'll be a beauty once it's complete.
Is it actually just a swing tail?
Lighting up.
Like, get electrocuted.
I was born.
Oh no, it's not just a sting tail. It's 2 Praetorians. Alright, I'm gonna wait for these guys to level out, because I know exactly how to handle this. Okay, here we go. Pretty good. I mean, I'm not surprised that you can't take them both out in one clip. So, I mean, you could if there was blow through involved, which there will be in the next build. So we might see that happen. We might. I really do. I do respect the decision to give gas recycling, which is one of the unstables. I just remembered it has 3 unstables. Zhukovs. But gas recycling, giving it armor breaking, I think was absolutely the right thing to do.
I'm the king of pie.
But I don't think it should exclude the Zhukovs from having an armor breaking upgrade, because I think they need it. I an armor breaking upgrade you could put on any overclock. Obviously, that's mainly going to benefit the clean one, this one, and embedded detonators quite a bit, to be honest. I suppose. But I think they should have it. I mean, the Zhukovs really just need more overclocks, so obviously the idea, right? Season 7, more second view overclocks. It feels very present and very much so like, come on, it's got to happen, right? But I would still, I'm going to continue my agenda of the Warthog and the Zhukovs need another one as well. So the Warthog should have gotten 2 in Season 5. And whenever they add new second view overclocks, the Zhukovs should get 2 as well. Because there's no reason for them to just be under the bar for no reason. I don't really respect that as a continuance. They should be at the same level. I think they really need. I think the Zhukovs particularly need it, like for balancing reasons. Lovely. Alright, it should be pretty close now. In fact, it should be ready by the time I... Wait, actually, no, will it? Yeah, pretty much. Really? Oh, no, we'll start it. It's fine. We'll start. Let's go. Do it. We ball. We ball. Oof. That detonator. It is. Let's go. Lovely. Love detonator. Whoa! Things suddenly got really bad there. Actually, a good number of scraps. Oh, I'll be alright. I'll be fine. It's actually gotten dicier than I was expecting it to, but I think we're going to be fine. Well, this really might end up being a bit longer than I'd like. It's the first one back in a while, it's fine. I mean, I genuinely somehow hadn't thought about what the one after this would be in this entire time. So I was actually pretty chuffed to realise it was going to be the breach cutter. And we've got pretty much only good breach cutter overclocks left. I mean, genuinely the only one I don't care for, and this is actually kind of annoying, is roll control. I used to really like roll control, and then they buffed it. but made it worse at the same time. It's actually not bad. It's actually quite good still. So honestly, I'm down for any of them. I guess my greedy ass just wants Spinning Death because I love it. I think that is the best Breach Cutter Overclock as well. Like, Spinning Death is very gimmicky, but I think it's the best. And my god, are the Zhukovs lacking in gimmicks. I mean, the Zhukovs are so lacking that the only two gimmicky overclocks are basically the only overclocks that people really use, you know? Embedded Detonators and Cryo Minelets. And Cryo Minelets has kind of been beaten out by Cryo Bolts anyway, so they're just like, it's just not a great situation for the Zhukovs. I will say they've been more hard done by time itself than by their original design. I would probably say, which I know that's kind of the same thing, but they haven't. I don't think the Zhukovs have ever been nerfed at any point. As in, I don't think there's been any changes made to the Zhukovs themselves since they came out that has made a negative impact. In fact, as far as I know, they've only gotten buffs. I do think we are, however, past the point of getting weapon reworks. I think that's not really in the cards anymore. I don't think it should, but I think it's been too long. The only way that could happen now is getting, you know, more weapons, right? And then possibly having to have those be serviced when, like, balancing and the meta sort of comes to fruition for those weapons. Like, oh, this one needs a bit of an overhaul. With all the weapons that we've had for so long now, I don't think giving any of them... And the only one, honestly, for me, the only candidates really are the Zhukovs and the Burt. I think that's actually all I would say. And I think there's also a couple things you could do to the Smart Rifle, but not... I wouldn't necessarily call it an overhaul. And then actually in the Burt's case, it's really just like the Zhukovs are probably the only weapon that really could do with a proper overhaul. I think the EPC maybe has some directions that you could go to. So it is weird. It kind of ends up looking like, oh, the Gen 2 secondaries, except the Breach Cutter, which is, like, you know, great, pretty much a fantastic upgrade selection. But yeah, maybe, you know, I think there's something to be said for the Gen 2 secondaries being these sort of most... I still know them all very well, but you could probably still say they're the most forgettable subset of weapons. I think that's probably fair. You know, because, like, you're not going to forget your Gen 1 secondaries because they're the ones you start with. And the Gen 3 secondaries are probably the most exciting set of weapons overall, maybe. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I think I'm onto something. I think it's I don't think it's going to happen. Weirdly enough, I think it's just not going to happen even this year. But I think new weapon. It's almost about time for new weapons. I know there was always an element of like we're probably just not going to get new weapons really anymore. And I think that's definitely. I think that actually probably was the case under Ghost Ship's jurisdiction. Probably. So I think for the most part, the community had accepted that Deep Rock's weapons are the 3 sets that we currently have. And I don't think it's a bad thing either. I think it's a great thing. I think more overclocks would also be a great thing to do just in general. Over time, just adding even more overclocks to those weapons. But I think new weapons is something that probably should happen before we're done, before the day is truly done with Deep Rock. I think I said it before, I would just really love for Invisible Walls, like the new guys, to take a crack at new weapons. I think that would actually be more exciting to me than Ghost Ship doing it. So I hope to see it. It's not going to be this year if it does happen, so I need to accept that as well. Which means it will have ended up probably being about 6 years between new sets of weapons. It's an interesting thing to say. But I think it should happen. And not like too far in the future either. But we got to get those new secondaries first. New secondary overclocks. I think that's just a kind of needs to happen before we think about actual new weapons. Anyway, that was the first mission. The first with custom casings. It's just a solid way to go with the Zhukovs if you want to use them in a very straightforward way. I would call them... I mean, there's only really 2 options here. I would say they are the better of the 2. The sort of like, you know, default Zhukov overclocks. Oh, can I do... Oh, that's a bit weak, actually. It's not too inappropriate though. The other build I would say is sort of exposes sort of the undertuned nature of the Zhukovs a little bit, so I actually don't necessarily mind doing this mission. And I'm not quite playing Deep Rock enough to justify not doing the assignments, the event assignments. I really should be prioritizing them. So that maggot is huge. But yeah, I think these are a really good way to just go down the default line with the Zhukovs and see that they are capable of pretty decent damage, and not being too ammo inefficient. We're hoping we see something similar here. Now, in this case, we actually are able to take an ammo upgrade and a damage upgrade, because this is basically for trash cleanup and a little bit of crowd clearing. And so in its stead, we have this, which is both for a little bit of crowd clearing and HVT killing. And they both sort of combine together when it comes to taking down the bigger targets as well. So yes, this is M1000 with Electrocuting focus shots, which is fantastic overclock for just locking down enemies, taking care of high value targets really easily, setting up bigger targets for the fall. Just good sort of blow. It really makes good use of blow through and armor breaking and just ammo, stun, all these things just combining, making a great thing by itself and a good accompaniment. Also, shout out to this hat. This is the Lunar New Year hat, so the year of the horse in this case, and it's great and it's hilarious, and it is exactly what it should be. But it also has hair that can be coloured. If this was Invisible Walls, you've more than earned my attention. And if it was Ghost Ship, well done, I guess. But so yeah, this is built, like I said, with crowd clearing and sort of just general trash clear. So blow through, damage, fire rate, and ammo. I think now this is where I think clip size. I think clip size could actually come into play for either of them, to be honest. But I've just generally found the fire rate to be a good way to go with this. I mean, the overclock penalizes it, and yeah, this is creating quite a bit of homogeneity between the two builds that I'm showing you. But it's wound up feeling, in my opinion, it feels like kind of necessary. I don't think I can really do it any other way, to be honest, so we're just gonna have to deal with that. But yeah, blow through playing a big role here, and actually, weirdly enough, not taking accuracy is kind of what we want to get a more generalized spread. So they remain very effective at close range, but this actually makes them a bit better at mid to even long range against groups of enemies, because it's just more of a spread. And we've got a very accurate, precise long range primary as well. Pheromone canisters are really in here to truly control and clump up enemies. Now, IFG would probably be better in most circumstances, but it's the lack of control. In this build specifically, we don't have much in the way of sort of being able to destabilize large groups of enemies. All we have is the blow through and stun of the M1000, but that's a maximum of 4 enemies, you know? So something like the pheromone canisters, when things get really bad, really big groups of enemies, we can just lock them down and go to town. And it just works quite well. I'm also apparently not using Beastmaster. That is not going to be the case. We definitely need Beastmaster in this one. Apparently I'm not allowed to have it. What's going on? That's weird. The hell? It wasn't letting me select Beastmaster. Okay. But yeah, let's just do it. So it's going to be, like I said, this one, in my opinion, kind of does lean a little bit more into the fact that this week was kind of undertuned. So I think playing a simpler mission is actually fine with me. And I kind of did the more solid build first for a reason. But yeah, honestly, doing this again, recording this again, has actually been really nice. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel. I think especially now that I've decided to do these every other week, it's a much more digestible experience. Because yeah, like I'm being pretty upfront with the fact that I'm not playing Deep Rock much at the moment, even with Season 6. But obviously getting this series back on the track is going to make me start playing a little bit more. And I'll probably sort of be focusing on, like, you know, high value missions to sort of help me progress the pass. I mean, I don't think there's any chance that I don't finish the pass before Season 7. Obviously, we are still operating under the fair assumption that Season 7 will land, you know, well within this year. But, you know, time will tell. I think the only time we're really going to know about that is going to be with the next On the Horizon, which I assume is going to be happening in April. For me, it was personally. I'm an English student, and I said for me, it's personally. For me, it's no real surprise that the anniversary stream that just passed was not informative. There's no requirement for the anniversaries to be, especially now that they do these On the Horizon broadcasts. So I'm going to be having my eye on that. I'm assuming there's going to be one in April or May at the latest, and that because we'll be getting a release date for Rogue Core, and hopefully, and I would say reasonably, hearing about Season 7 as well. I really hope so. Because I do think there's an element, I don't think it's going to be crazy for me to say. Season 6 would have been sort of a bigger thing if it was done the way they were originally going to do it, which was Ghost Ship making it after Rogue Core come out. It was definitely going to be more of a straightforward, like, well, this is more straightforward, actually. I mean, this season is more straightforward than it would have been. But it would have been a more like another Season 5, right? It would have been like just absolutely filled to the brim with loads of stuff. It would have had the secondary overclocks. It would have had probably the perk rework. All these things, new mission type, probably new biome as well anyway. Well, probably mainly the new biome, and then some kind of new boss, I think, was also going to be, I feel like was going to be a thing. It definitely would have been a bigger deal, but it would have been coming out, I don't know, by the end of this year at the earliest. So I don't think they went wrong in any way by bringing in a new set of hands. And I really hope Invisible Walls are here for the long run. I haven't really looked into them because I have to assume they are their own developer. But if they are just going to become Deep Rock's new developer, that is kind of what I want, to be honest. Right, I'm going to try, obviously I'm being a bit risky here, but I'm going to try and get out of using a pheromone grenade. This build doesn't play too nice with groups like this, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to try and hold off on the Season 7 talk. I mean, I should try and rein it in a little bit. I don't think it's going to be that long until there's stuff to talk about. Probably more for Rogue Core, but I don't think it's going to be too long. And it looks like, I mean, I am just doing the secondary objective. I mean, I guess there is a reason to. There is a performance pass to progress, so I probably do want to get, you know, experience, or, you know, things that translate to performance points, which is everything.
I got the deposit.
It doesn't hurt, and it definitely doesn't hurt to take advantage of the holiday events either.
Gotta wait for the rates off.
There's a stalker somewhere around.
That's all you got, you slippery shit. Lloyd is up.
But the music's actually been really quiet.
Lighting up.
There we go.
Egg fry. Locked and loaded. Ollie. Pheromone. Crawlies attack each other.
There we go. It wasn't a particularly great showing. So yeah, not going to be using this Zhukov as much, or these Zhukovs as much against Praetorians as the last build. I do like stuff like that, and it mainly comes up when you're using the pheromones, but like having a an oppressor or Praetorian facing inward to a bunch of other enemies and sort of just catching strays through it, basically. I don't mind that. Yeah, this is going to be exceptionally tedious with Hazard 5 Plus stuff, because that is not how I've been practicing for this either. I've been pretty much just clean Hazard 5, which is usually how I go with Scout. So there is something to be said there, and obviously I said it at the beginning of the video. I'm just going to start doing it. Start doing things this way, just to standardize stuff. If that has a negative impact on the builds, then that just serves to highlight Scout's problems, I guess. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it this way, I think. All right, more kite. Right, yeah, that's what we're here for. I almost forgot. No.
These rocks seriously need to invest in some better equipment.
Any red sugar around? Any sucre rouge?
Go! Get to work!
There's some. Shit. Oh shit! A rat! Oh, there's more down there. Hi!
Molly is on the way.
Give me that. Mind that.
I'm glad we have someone to carry our rocks and stones.
Mouth dry. What I get for having bacon and hash brown sandwich.
Egg fry! Help me mine this.
It looks like I'm about to get cornered by vagabonds. Oh, someone Mac Terror. Do you mind? Should probably, do I retreat or do I just keep going? I might just keep going. Actually, no, hold on. This could be bad, actually. It's more quite back there. I mean, I've got 2 pheromone grenades, which should be pretty good to keep things. That Morkite. That's the most I've ever. That's like the furthest I've ever left Morkite behind, like knowingly. I think it's looking like I've left it behind. Even that Morkite's not going to get attention just yet. Okay, this is good. There we go. Really?
Born ready.
I'm probably going to pheromone that group twice, actually. In fact, if I can, I'm actually going to pheromone these idiots. Oh, fuck. Okay, that's probably still okay. Just about.
It's getting into our
Oh, okay, looks like I am going back. God, there's just a lot of things happening there.
Grab this.
A network error has occurred. Oh, no, no, not again. No, please don't do this. Oh, no. I hope this is just a general outage. Please just be a normal outage. Oh, no, it's back. Oh, it's back. It's the thing that my Xbox does from time to time. It's not so bad. I know that I can, like, just basically bully it into not doing that by just restarting. But it just goes through these phases of just constantly disconnecting and then reconnecting to the internet. And it usually only ever like comes up after initially turning it on. Doesn't usually just start happening after it's been on for a while without it happening. So this pray right now, brothers. Hey, look who's watching.
Ollie, over here.
Well, we could talk about Doom actually. I mean, I could also just skip to the next bit of combat, but we could talk about Doom: The Dark Ages instead. Because yeah, the DLC coming out at some point this year. Obviously that's like a bit vague, especially for DLC, but I think it's gonna be big. And the only thing they said about it really is that it is pretty much a sequel. So like in terms of like size, which is fine. I assume that means it's probably only gonna be one DLC as well for Dark Ages, but it's just gonna be like big, which is fair. I think that is fair because I think it makes more sense to do if they're gonna do a sequel to Dark Ages. It almost makes more sense to just do it in Dark Ages than start fresh again, like they did for Eternal. Obviously, Eternal is amazing and it's the best of the three, but I think just staying in the Dark Ages framework for another sort of another thing that takes place between Dark Ages and Doom 2016, I think that makes sense. I don't think there needs to be another game in between those. If there's ever another Doom game, it should be after. I'm not sure there will be. I think they're probably going to be doing Quake instead next, like Quake reboot, which would be awesome. I don't really know much about Quake. I've only played a little bit of the classic one, so I would love to see them bring that up to speed. I'd love to see them do Duke Nukem, although that might be more maybe Machine Games could be better for that. I don't know. Although Machine Games are doing Wolfenstein 3 proper, which is exciting. The plot leaks aren't like thrilling. It's very less. It's sort of like sounds a bit like Last of Us, really, which is like okay. But I think they have such a good eye for what makes shooters fun and satisfying, and they do have really good storytelling. So I'm going to be interested in Wolfenstein 3 no matter what. I think.
Donkey, come here.
And also Indiana Jones was really good too. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Genuinely a really good game, really great Indiana Jones story. So if you give a shit about that, it's absolutely like if you're an Indiana Jones fan or like even just a FPS fan, and you didn't think it was worth playing, it is. It's a really good game. It's great. I like it quite a bit. I didn't play the DLC actually. I might do that at some point. But all right, we're done here. I think that's fair to sort of. Because you can see how this kind of works, like especially when you have pretty beefy groups of enemies. The Zhukovs definitely work, but it's not anything crazy. This role that we're putting it in for here is gas recycling would be better for. I can definitely acknowledge that, but you still gain something from having the weak point damage. But you know, gas recycling, it has even more damage. It's got armor breaking. It's inaccurate as sin, which I think we definitely have been using it. We've definitely been using these Zhukovs at ranges that gas recycling would struggle. So I think that's a good thing for custom casings, like a good point for it. Weird overclock. I can't really see myself putting it any higher than like a middle B or something. Possibly even like high C would be better. I don't know. I think it complements. I think it serves to be a good way to use essentially default Zhukovs. So maybe B would be more fair than C. I don't know. It's just not the most exciting overclock, really, is it? And yeah, you know, not everything can be, but one can dream. One can dream. But that actually felt really inaccurate. God. Electrocuting focus shots is pretty good, but can you imagine if it was actually like it laid down like taser bolt things instead? Like that would be so much cooler.
Light is up. Make every bullet count.
Oh. What's wrong? What's wrong? You don't like me stretching? Basically done here, mate. It's fine. It's gonna sound stupid, but I think it makes sense just because they're very sort of high rate of fire, sort of pea shootery weapon. Taking out a lot of weak enemies at once is something they're good at. Like a lot of grunts that are on low health. Because I just mean it's going to be more reliable at doing that than... So this is amazing gameplay right here. It's going to be better at doing that than, well, the M1000, for example. Because you really can just spray and it will just get them. It will just hit them all. Anyway. The only reason to stick around, there is these guys. Actually, this could be pretty okay. Yeah, but that used like 1.5 clips though, like what we just did, which is like it's not that impressive. But I wouldn't put it on the overclock, really. Unless the overclock jumped the ammo up to like 120 per clip. But then you just be using, I don't know, it's weird. I don't think a lot of the criticisms that any criticisms I've made in this video aren't really for the overclock, but I would still say the overclock is lacking. It's not, it could be better. It's just not like it's an upgrade, even though it's just magazine size and you lose rate of fire. But it is an upgrade. And I don't think any of its problems are because of what it is, but I do think it could justifiably be stronger as well. Oh, salvage up. But that is going to be it for the return to Overclock Showcase. So I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more stuff like this and you want to stay on top of everything to do Rock and Roll Call, then make sure to, oh Jesus Christ, like and subscribe. I don't know, hit the bell. Thanks, we got a member. Thank you, Boxfoot Scoot. That's the guy who pays us. Pardon me. I'm sorry. It's good to be back though, doing this properly. Obviously, I'll only be seeing you with this again in 2 weeks' time, not 1 week, but whatever. It's going to be the breach cutter. Look at this guy, isn't he beautiful? So yeah, this is the part though of the video. It's over. You can go if you want, but this is where we're going to find out what next week's overclock is going to be, or so next time's overclock. Breach cutter, of course. So how we do this is I number the overclocks from left to right, top to bottom. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've already done return to sender and high voltage crossover, so that knocks out numbers 3 and 7. So we have our Wheel of Fortune here. And that has the numbers on that we haven't done yet. It feels weird actually to have like 5 to do still on the breach cards. Is that right? It is, right? Yeah, because obviously this would have been the third one. You know, we're literally about to do the third one. So no, it's not that crazy. Okay, let's spin the wheel. Like I said, no real preference. I guess I probably wouldn't want to do all 3 of the cleans in a row. Oh wow. Okay, I can work with that. Number 1, if you were paying attention, spinning death. I'm pretty sure I still only have it on 1 person. Yeah, it's this guy. So it's the only person I have spinning death on. Oh, hold on a minute. There's another one here. Okay, so I do have 2. I'm not sure actually what this guy's deal is. Why he has spinning death, but that's fine. Let's just, let's just make sure I haven't actually done spinning death already. Because that would make the most sense for why there's already 2 spinning death. Hold on. Okay, I'm already there on the playlist. Oof, jeez. High voltage crossover. Return to sender. And the present day. So yeah, no, it's fine. It's spinning death next week, next time on Overclock Showcase. So once again, thank you for watching. Let's go grab our company mandated drink. It's lovely. We've got the anniversary decorations up. What's it going to be for custom casings? Well, I mean, there's nothing better than a premium oily oath.
Bartender, I need a round of oily oafs, ice cold and foamy. Bang your heads at this. Long live the dwarf!
How's he drinking that? Doesn't make any sense.
In my gut.
See you next time.